On Friday, the latest unemployment figures will be published and carefully studied by all the election campaign teams. The unemployment rate has fallen by a quarter in the past 5 years and currently stands at 5.7%. So what's it like for those with and without a job? First, those starting out on a career. Rob Powell has been to meet an apprentice and the graduates who've decided to go it alone.
Berkshire firm Crown Hockey uses technology from F1 cars to produce carbon fibre sticks. It makes them lighter and more robust, and the dimples help reduce vibrations. Now 18 months old, the company started life as a university project.
Definitely have brought all of my knowledge from my university course into this and learnt far more as well in this past year of running my own business.
I would much rather be doing this for myself, and I don't think I'd ever go back to a salary job.
Crown won a grant from a local enterprise scheme and has a business mentor, but learning the basic skills to run a company was tough.
I would have liked to have known a little bit more about the business side of things early on, and just generally how work works, because things like if I knew VAT 100% clearly early on would have been really helpful.
Evan and Matt say a degree helped them start their firm, but many are now switching uni for an apprenticeship. Trainee solicitor Juliet turned down 5 law courses for an apprenticeship in Eastleigh. She's one of the first-time voters taking part in the BBC's Generation 2015 project.
Universities are churning up loads of people with law degrees, and I think the experience that this gives you is something that graduates are not going to have.
It's a surprise to some people that law firms run apprenticeships. Primarily because I know from when I was younger, apprenticeships generally seem to apply to the labouring industry and engineers, auto mechanics, bricklayers and those kind of things. And I think that's the stigma that maybe potentially sits in people's minds, and they don't understand the potential.
But with all the main parties backing apprenticeships, many are hoping that will change. Rob Powell, BBC South Today.
So what are the politicians saying? Well, last week we heard from Labour and the Lib Dems on pensions. But one of those smaller parties is the Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, standing in a handful of seats in the South, and they want a better deal for workers.
If you look around, lots of the apprentices are being paid £2.50, £3 an hour. It's exploitative, it's verging on slave labour, and it's simply not acceptable in this day and age that we have people paid and exploited very openly by employers who are taking advantage of the apprenticeship system.
Well, the Conservatives believe they're best placed to help entrepreneurs like the hockey stick graduates we saw earlier.
We're very much cutting business taxes, the jobs tax, the employers' national insurance contributions to ensure that it's easier for businesses to take on people. And we really want to encourage enterprise, innovation, and encourage people to take that leap, take that risk. If they've got a passion, if they want to start a business, they can do that with the Conservatives.
The headline unemployment rate doesn't reveal the complexity of the labour market. The unemployment rate for 16 to 24-year-olds has been consistently higher than for older age groups. The jobless rate amongst black, Asian and ethnic minorities is double that of white workers. For the over 50s, there are fewer out of work, but they are more likely to remain unemployed for longer than younger age groups. Alistair Fee has been to meet older job hunters.
At a Portsmouth employment fair, John's come to find out what all the talk of new jobs means for him. He's 56 and used to work as a bar and catering supervisor on the Isle of Wight.
I would love to work. I need a job. I just find it very difficult to find one at the moment. I think they look at you as a second-class citizen almost, because you are an older person.
Out of work, older people can find it more difficult to get a job and are more likely to remain unemployed for longer. Last week, Dawn celebrated her 64th birthday. She's been at B&Q in Reading for 8 years and has no plans to stop, but feels it should be her choice to work.
I think it's individual choice. If you're healthy enough and strong enough, I see no point why you should be working longer years, but I don't think that should make it compulsory to work longer than you think is possible for you.
There are plenty who need to keep earning. Redundancy and divorce mean Anna is seeking part-time work to raise her standard of living. Finding it has not been easy.
I've got white hair, so they do label you, and they think that you haven't done anything before, and you have, and they think that you're going to be difficult to manage, I think. So there are lots of younger people who won't employ older people because they think they're trouble.
Ambitions of full employment seem a long way off. There was plenty on offer in Portsmouth, but filling those positions is never as simple. Many older people need to work and feel there's still more that the politicians can do. Alistair Fee, BBC South Today.
Well, when it comes to the political parties, there's something of a beauty contest for creating apprenticeships. But what else is in their jobs policies? Well, Rob Powell has been taking a look. Rob.
Thanks, Sally. Well, the Greens would give an apprenticeship to all qualified young people who want one. They also aim to create 1 million public sector jobs through a wealth tax. The Liberal Democrats are aiming for 4 million new apprentices over 5 years, and vocational skills would be boosted through a chain of national colleges. Labour want 80,000 more apprenticeships and a jobs guarantee for young people who are out of work for a year. There'd also be greater enforcement of the minimum wage laws. An apprenticeship qualification instead of some non-core GCSE subjects is one idea from UKIP. The party would also allow companies to discriminate in favour of young British workers. And the Conservatives would fund 3 million apprenticeships over 5 years. And the number of start-up loans to businesses would be tripled, which they say will create 100,000 jobs. Well, that's a few of the headlines. More details will emerge in the party manifestos, which are just starting to be published. Sally.
Rob, thanks very much. We'll be looking at those, of course, carefully. Now on to sport, and Tony's escaped from the studio tonight for the start of the new cricket season. He's at the Ageas Bowl, where play has concluded on the second day of the match between Hampshire and Sussex. Glorious evening there. It's got to be the first time we've seen you in shirt sleeves on such a warm night, Tony.